What's up, y'all? What's going on? It's been a minute. Um, so I got a little time, so I want to do this story for y'all. All right. First thing first, y'all let me know y'all can hear me. And second off, I'm gonna give a birthday shout out to my man DJ Just J at the AFC podcast. Today's birthday, so shout out to you, my guy. All right, wishing you many more and all that good stuff. What this got stuff here? All right, so y'all can't hear me. Cool. Guys, I want to apologize because it seemed like a lot of you came, y'all looking for the interview the night before. Unfortunately, the lady who I was going to speak to, hey, life happened. She said she got children, and by the time she got ready for the interview, her phone had died. And she fell asleep while the phone was charging. I opened the door and say, hey, if she wanted to do it yesterday, she could have done it. But she never responded about if she wanted to do it again or not. So, hey, I'm not pushy. So I didn't push the issue. Whenever she ready to do it, hey, the door is open for her to do the interview, and that was going to be a good interview. Considering what the story is saying, what happened, that was going to be a damn good one, I kind of disappointed it didn't happen, but, hey, again, I don't have children, so I don't know what it's like to, when it comes to children, something can happen at the last minute, they can, stop things from happening. So, hey, whenever she's ready, we will get that interview done. Yeah, Carl. So I just went ahead, just put it on private. Whenever she's ready, she'll come back and say, hey, I got time. And if we on the same time, we'll get that interview going, So I really want to have that interview. But in the meantime, I want y'all to hear about this story right here. And if you haven't, please hit the thumbs up. Again, I'm going to preach it again. It's coming time. I don't know where it's coming from, but in 2024, these mothers are horrible. I don't know what's going on 2024, or maybe it's the end of days or whatever the case may be. I have the slightest idea what the hell is going on, but we are seeing these stories too frequent that these women get with these dudes. Don't know what they see in them, but to each his own. But they get with these dudes, and it seems like they just totally forget that they got children. Okay, they just totally forget that they got children. And instead of let these dudes come into their life and just do the unthinkable to their child. There's another story that was sent to me that they say the woman, or at least that's how they titled the article, the woman wanted to be with the dude so bad that she allowed this dude just do whatever the hell he wants to a child. And I was like, when did this shit start? Okay, what happened here? What am I missing? Why is it really that bad that women has got to the place that, I've been single for so long. I've been a single mother that, when I do get a man, I don't know how to act. Hell, I forget I have children. Fuck the child. I want this man because I haven't had one so long. That's what's going on here. I thought you could have a relationship and have a child at the same time, but maybe I'm wrong. Am I wrong? I don't know. Maybe I am wrong. But this 6-year-old, they say he was beaten. He was locked in a pen. And you're going to hear in the story or the conference, this man right here was shooting this boy with a BB gun. And this motherfucker knew everything that was going on. All right? So, ladies and gentlemen, you'll leave me in your ears for a little while. I want y'all to hear this. If an ad don't play, let's see if the ad going to play.
Cases of child abuse Oakland County prosecutors have ever seen.
As we carefully sifted through the evidence, what we found can only be described as horrific.
25-year-old Elaina Jennings and her 32-year-old boyfriend Daniel Giacchina charged with homicide and child abuse in the first degree in connection with the death of Jennings' 6-year-old son Giovanni, also known as Chulo.
His siblings were present for and witnessed much of that abuse.
It happened at the family's mobile home off of DeQuinder in Madison Heights. Investigators say the boy was confined to a pen in the defendant's bedroom.
He was beaten. He was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his clothes.
He was bound to the wall using a staple gun. Now, out of all the stories I have done, they got to be the sickest shit that I've heard. He was bound to the wall using a staple gun. I don't make sure y'all heard that. He was bound to the wall using a staple gun.
Close to the wall, which forced his face into a corner.
Chulo died from the abuse on July 31st. Blunt force trauma to his abdomen, a perforated bowel after a lengthy confinement, according to authorities.
Photos taken during an autopsy in Wayne County revealed that Chulo had bruising and laceration on his entire body. He had an apparent BB wound to his shin.
We talked to a neighbor who lives across the street, but
A BB wound. A BB wound.
says she never noticed anything.
I just seen the kids in passing and the family in passing, and one particular day I saw them at Kroger.
She is hoping this tragedy raises awareness, and if people see something, they say something.
I think we all have a due diligence to children because they're so innocent. They shouldn't have to go through things like this.
Camila Mary, Fox 2 News.
How about that? How about that?
What's in a name?
How about that? And again, I just don't get this. You know, I don't know what it is these dudes bring to the table. They will make a woman of any culture, any race. They will allow this to happen. Not only that, you will participate in this and doing this to a child that is 6 years old. But y'all know, of course, we have done stories that children younger than that being punished. But for what? Again, they didn't ask to be here. That was solely your choice. All right? That was solely your choice. And you making poor choices in men, that was your choice as well. Had nothing to do with him. That was your choice. But I got to ask the question again. When I hear women say they like bad boys, this is what they're talking about. Just think about it. Women, a lot of women say they like the bad boys. Are these the bad boys that you are talking about? That you know they will lay hands on a child, including yours, and in the most fucked up way that they will lay their hands on a child. So are these the bad boys are they talking about? All right. Hit me up. Are these the bad boys they are talking about? This story comes out of Oakland County. And I want to say that's in Michigan. If I'm not mistaken, it comes out of Oakland County. New charges against the boy's mother, Elaina Jennings, and her boyfriend, Daniel Giacchina, during a press conference Friday. Last week, Giacchina was charged, and look at all this now, firearm possession by a prohibited person, ammunition possession by a felon, so he was a felon, felony firearm, and lying to a peace officer. These are the men that a lot of you women is bringing around your children. I don't understand it. Why? These are the type of men that a lot of women are bringing around their children. Why? Could it be a factor of low self-esteem? Could it be a factor they feel like nobody else wants them? Or could it be a fact to give a little bit of wiggle room? Could it be a factor? I hear a lot of people say now they are damaged goods. Could it be that? Or could it be desperation? Or could it be they're just what they like? They like those type of men. Now you like what you like. You like what you like. But here's the problem. When you start liking them, it seems like you start disliking your children. How does that work? It seems like when you start liking these bad boys, these idiots, you start disliking your children. Can somebody explain that to me? How does that work? How does it work? It's working somehow because it's happening too often now. Some reason, somehow, in these people's mind, this works. Staple to a damn wall with a staple gun. Who the fuck does that? To the point his face was smushed into the wall. A staple gun now. A staple gun. His face is smushed into the wall. That says hatred to me. I know I'd have done shit without the child. We all was a child once. I know I'd have done shit. But my folks would never, ever think of doing something like that. Staple gunning me to a wall. Let alone let some fool who they claim they dating or laying in the bed with will allow him or her to put their hands on me in that manner. Because back in the day, if they put their hands on us, what's going to happen? They're going to put their hands on them. Now, that's how it used to be. But again, we don't have a clear answer as to what's happening in this era of mothers now. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Back in our era, we growed up, somebody from the outside put their hands on us, your parents going to put their hands on them because you crossed the line. That's crossing the line. All right? Then they had the old saying goes, pick on somebody your own size. But you got a lot of people who punks, they don't do that. They like to pick on people who are defenseless, like 6 years old, 2 years old, or even children who have disabilities or autism. They love picking on them. It makes them feel big and bad and macho. But when the real big bad wolves stand up to them, they bitch up. Am I lying? Somebody tell me I'm lying. Am I lying? When the real big bad wolf stands up to these creatures, they bitch up. But why? No, you got energy to put your hands on a child and punk a child. You should have that same energy with a grown ass man or a grown ass woman. Holla if you hear me. But he is a felony. He's a felon. And look like he had baggage. He brought baggage with him when he met this woman. And she accepted the baggage. And now her child is 6 feet under. The real case says some people just crazy. Yep, that too. That too. That too. That too. The 6-year-old boy name is Giovanni Chulo Jennings. That's his name. This happened on July the 30th. After Jennings, now this fool called 911. The mom called 911. This idiot called 911 and said he was unresponsive. in the mobile home where Giacchina's mother and Jeannie's 3 children. Jesus Christ. Wait a minute. Oh, whoa. This man didn't have his own spot either? He didn't have his own spot. Wow. How about that? He didn't have his own spot. I don't knock people for not having their own spot because everybody had a little shit that happens to them, so I don't really knock that or whatnot. I don't. But at the same time, though, and y'all tell me y'all agree or disagree. My grandmother used to always say something to the fact that if you are married, there's no reason you need to be not in your own stuff. There's no reason that you should be out asking for money, borrowing money, because y'all two stay together. So what's the problem? All right. How many of y'all folks told y'all that? Well, y'all heard it before. If you're married and you staying together and you're going to ask for money or going to ask for places to stay, they would tell you, you should not be in this position if it's two of y'all. What are y'all doing? If both of y'all are supposed to be working and this, that, and the third, there should be no reason you should be asking for outside help. I mean, I heard that before. I know I heard it all the time. All right. They weren't talking to me, but it was just general conversation. And I used to hear that all the time. If you are together, and especially if you stand together, you should not be in these positions. All right. I say it's wise words, but at the same time, though, I think stuff still can happen, though. What if somebody gets sick and the other person who's working the job ain't paying enough to hold both of them up? That could be a possibility. Okay? That could be a possibility. But I get the message that they putting out. I get the message that they putting out. And pretty much they saying, don't get with people who can't meet you halfway. All right? Don't give nobody who can't meet you halfway. You should not be the one putting everything on the table. Y'all should meet halfway. With that, I agree. I definitely agree. But again, we aren't hearing stuff like this too often. They're not meeting halfway. They in a different time zone somewhere. I don't know where the hell they at, but they in a different time zone somewhere. Because if they grew up the way I did, or the way y'all did in the audience now, or whoever's listening, y'all know y'all folks won't be going for this. If your mom, or especially your dad and your grandfolks, if they had a sense that this fool, woman or man, didn't mean you no good, they did not hold their tongue with telling you that. Am I lying? They did not hold their tongue. They would tell you. Matter of fact, a lot of them so bold, they would tell you that in front of their face. Because they didn't believe in talking behind your back. They say it right there in your face. Now, I don't see this person doing nothing for you. I don't. Or better yet, when you had dads back in the days, the dad would agree with the man who's trying to date his daughter. Trust me, I know. When I was 18, I was dating a man's daughter. Nice place they were staying in. Folks had money. The dad, I mean, he didn't greet him in a harsh way. He asked questions like he was supposed to do. He asked questions. All right, you dating my daughter? Woot-woot this, woot-woot that. You know, what you doing, what you plan on doing when you getting out of school? Blah, 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 blah. All right? Because he didn't want to see his daughter with somebody who can't bring nothing to the table. He has to bring something to the table. Amen? He had to bring something to the table. And if the dad didn't feel like that he can bring anything to the table, the dad had no problem with telling him, you're not fit for my daughter. The real AK, I think you got daughters or a daughter. And I'm pretty much sure you probably had somewhat of this talk with them. Am I correct? you'd had some type of talk like this with your girls or girl. And I'll wait for you to respond on that. Terica, hey, you back in the building. What's going on? She said, yep, I don't help people who got a man. I'm out here doing it by myself. See what I'm talking about? So I'm not lying. 80s babies in the house. I'm an 80s baby. Some of y'all probably earlier year than me. See the real AK say he got 2 daughters? He has this conversation. He has. Shout out to you, my man. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. Shout out to you. If y'all haven't hit that thumbs up, please hit that thumbs up. You know what I'm saying? Got a little handful of y'all up here. Appreciate you. So this man, they have his own spot. Jennings sound like she didn't have her own spot. Because again, it said Chulo died July 30th after Jennings called 911 and said he was unresponsive in the mobile home where she, Giacchina's mother, and Jennings' 3 children lived. That's a lot of folks. That's a household. That's a lot of shit. That's a lot of folks, man. His death was ruled a murder from blunt force trauma and a perforated abdomen. Perforated. Dang, what that mean? I ain't never heard that word for what is perforated. And a perforated abdomen. According to McDonald, the boy died after a lengthy period of confinement and abuse. We had spent over 100 hours reviewing extremely disturbing videos and photos as well as text messages. Them text messages will get your ass in trouble, okay? And Facebook chats. Lord knows the Facebook chats get y'all in trouble. Y'all be think y'all be deleting that shit and she be gone. No, for some reason the law know how to find this shit. All right? This shit be saved somewhere. Text messages, Facebook chats describing the horrific things that happened to the 6-year-old boy, McDonald said. What we find can only be described as horrific. Down here, McDonald said the boy had bruising and lacerations across his whole body, including inside his mouth, a bloated abdomen, and an apparent BB wound. His 4-year-old brother was interviewed at the Child Advocate Center Care House and said Giacchina had shot both himself and Chulo with a BB gun. This is a man who don't have his own shit, staying with his mama, with Jennings and 3 other children. But these bad boys, though, a lot of women say they like the bad boys. This is a bad boy for you right there. But I still say, hey, you like what you like. Who am I to tell you what not to like? You like what you like. I'm just curious, when y'all say y'all like the bad boys, I know those the bad boys that you're talking about. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know I like the police conference. So let's hear the police conference and get into some more details. I hate when to do that. Damn. Okay.
Yeah. Good afternoon. The prosecutor will update everyone on the additional charges that have been filed in this case. First, I want to remind everyone that criminal charges are merely accusations and the defendants are presumed innocent until and unless proven guilty. Her remarks today are based on the information placed on the record during the swear-to and arraignment before the court earlier this morning. Oakland County Prosecutor Karen McDonald.
Good afternoon. I would like to introduce members of my staff. To my left is Sarah Green. She's the chief of the Special Victims Unit. Assistant Prosecutor Lauren Benninger, she is also in the Special Victims Unit. Kelly Collins is our chief of juvenile. Betsy Haig is our chief of administration and oversees the juvenile division. Mark Keese is our chief of circuit. And this is, do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. Chief Brent Maurice, Madison Heights Police Department. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. The victim in this case is Giovanni Jennings, known by his family as Chulo. Chulo was 6 years old, and he died from blunt force trauma to his abdomen and a perforated bowel after a lengthy period of confinement and abuse. The Wayne County Medical Examiner determined that the manner of death was homicide. Last week, my office filed charges against his mother, Elaina Jennings, and her boyfriend, Daniel Giacchina, for lying to the police, and additional charges against defendant Giacchina for improperly possessing weapons and ammunition because he was already a convicted felon. But it was clear from the evidence that we saw that there was a pattern of abuse that led to Chulo's death. My office, in conjunction with the Madison Heights Police Department, has spent the last week performing an intensive review of every piece of available evidence, including cell phone evidence, photos, and evidence that was seized in search warrants. Combined, we have spent over 100 hours reviewing extremely disturbing videos and photos, as well as text messages and Facebook chats describing the horrific things that happened to this 6-year-old boy. Everyone standing up here, including myself, were a part of those 100 hours of review. His siblings were present for and witnessed much of that abuse, and a complete review of the digital evidence continues. Chulo's 4-year-old brother was interviewed at Care House. For those of you who don't know, Care House is a child advocacy center in Oakland County. My office has an experienced prosecutor dedicated to Care House and who attends forensic interviews there, and that's Lauren Benninger. I cannot express the importance of Care House and how fortunate we are in this county to have this highly qualified professional organization who interview and provide therapy for child victims. I also want to thank the Oakland County Sheriff's Department who assisted in this investigation. As we carefully sifted through the evidence, what we found can only be described as horrific. The allegations are that Chulo was confined to a pen in the defendant's bedroom. He was beaten, he was bound to the wall by using a staple gun to his clothes.
Staple gun, Jesus Christ.
Into a corner. He was badly injured, but he was not taken for medical treatment because his mother knew that a medical examination would reveal the abuse. And that information is all an allegation that was already in
the medical examination will reveal the abuse, so you know what that means. She protecting this fool. She was protecting him. Didn't give a damn about a child, but she'll protect that man, though. That's a damn shame.
Public forum on the record in the swear to. Based on that additional evidence, today, my office amended the charges against the defendants to include murder and child abuse in the first degree. On July 30th, 2024, at 2:34 p.m., Elaina Jennings called 911 to her home and indicated that her 6-year-old son was passed out and unconscious. Chulo was rushed by ambulance to Ascension Macomb Oakland Hospital, transferred to the Detroit Medical Center, and ultimately succumbed to his injuries around midnight on July 31st. The allegations are that Jennings falsely told police that she left Chulo with his biological father when she went to work that morning, and that Chulo was uninjured prior to being with his father. Police located and arrested Chulo's father, and based on information provided by his father, subsequent investigation quickly revealed that the child's father was not anywhere near Chulo's location that day, and that defendant Jennings had provided false information to police. Based on the investigation to date, there is no evidence that Chulo's father took part in these crimes. Elaina Jennings, along with Chulo and her 2 other minor children, were living at the home along with Jennings' boyfriend, defendant Daniel Giacchina, and Giacchina's grandmother. Further investigation revealed that Giacchina and Jennings conspired to falsely tell police that it was Chulo's biological father who was last with Chulo. In fact, when Jennings left the home on the morning of July 30th, Chulo was left in the care of Giacchina. Giacchina typically watched Chulo when Jennings...
Y'all hear that? This woman's so much of a piece of shit, she tried to blame the biological father. Did y'all hear that? This woman is such a piece of shit. She tried to blame the biological father to protect this good-for-nothing ass man. Okay? And then on top of that, left this boy with this good-for-nothing ass man. Now, if that ain't a piece of shit, I don't know what you call a piece of shit. And this is my first time hearing this conference. Now, that pisses me off right there. You gonna try to blame the biological father. No, that man ain't had nothing to do with this. But still, trying to protect this asshole. Again, how the fuck does this work? That's a damn shame. You hear this shit, the real AK? She tried to blame the biological dad. Wow.
Was at work, along with Chulo's 2 younger siblings and another unrelated 5-year-old. Photos taken during an autopsy in Wayne County revealed that Chulo had bruising and laceration on his entire body, including to his scalp, temples, lips, inner mouth, cheeks, forehead, chin,
Jesus Christ.
arms, fingers, thumbs, back, buttocks, inner thighs, knees, and shins. Notably, Chulo had pervasive bruising to his abdomen, which was also bloated and distended. He had an apparent BB wound to his shin. First responders and emergency room personnel noted extensive external injuries as well. Cell phone evidence has revealed that Chulo Jennings was being severely abused by the defendants. Chulo was beaten by Giacchina on multiple occasions. While that abuse sometimes happened while Jennings was at work, Jennings was aware of it and approved of the physical assaults and at times even encouraged Giacchina to abuse Chulo. The abuse involved physical violence and assault, including shooting at Chulo with a BB gun. For punishment, Chulo was confined to a pen in a corner of Giacchina's and Jennings' bedroom, where he was left to try and sleep on a wooden slat measuring 11 inches by 36 inches. A black curtain was put in place so Chulo couldn't see out, and barricades were used to keep him in place. Giacchina purchased a home security system and mounted a camera on the wall to monitor what he and Jennings called, quote, the corner, the pen in the bedroom cordoned by the black curtain where they kept Chulo. Both Giacchina and Jennings would watch video clips of Chulo, quote, misbehaving, which would include Chulo trying to urinate, drink, or leave the corner. On one instance, on July 26, Giacchina bound Chulo to the wall to keep Chulo confined in the corner and to position his head to face the wall. He did so by stapling the clothing Chulo was wearing to the wall with a staple gun. He texted Jennings that he had solved the problem, Chulo's face toward the wall, sending her a photo of Chulo stapled into the corner of the pen. That photo shows the shoulders of Chulo's shirt stapled to the edges of the corner in such a manner that Chulo's body, along with his head and face, were wedged into the corner of the wall. Both Jennings and Giacchina laughed about the photo and Giacchina's use of the staple gun to solve, quote, the problem.
Laughed at the photo, quote, solve the problem. Again, this fool right here let this man come into her home, the inner circle of her child, and both of them sit up there and laugh, talk about problem solved. So now I got to ask the question, since she tried to blame the biological dad, where is the biological dad? Or where was he?
According to the text, Chulo was being punished in this manner for looking out the window in the pen area. A search conducted in the home in the pen area, where Chulo was kept, revealed marks in the walls consistent with a staple gun, and holes in the wall with BBs still in them. During the search, police seized both a staple gun, a BB gun, and CO2 cartridges before the BB gun. They also seized a 9mm semi-automatic ghost gun and over 100 rounds of live 9mm ammunition. A photograph recovered from the cell phone analysis depicts Giacchina in the middle of 2 young children who are handling the ghost gun and the BB gun. On July 26, a photo from Jennings' phone depicts 2 children who are each pointing a gun at a third child. The third child has his hand up and the laser from the ghost gun.
The mom took a picture with the other two children pointing a gun at another child. This woman is insane.
Son is illuminating his scene. Elaina Jennings' 4-year-old son was forensically interviewed at Care House. He told the forensic interviewer that, quote, Danny, Giacchina, shot him in the leg with a BB gun and showed his wound to the forensic interviewer. He also disclosed that Danny shot Chulo in the buttocks with the BB gun. The 4-year-old explained that on the day of Chulo's death, quote, Chulo died all day, and Danny was there. Defendant Elaina Jennings was interviewed by police, and she stated that Giacchina punched Chulo in the abdomen several times, approximately 3 days prior to his death. She told police that as a result of those punches, Chulo began vomiting. His condition began to worsen until July 30th, when she found him unresponsive in the company of Giacchina. Jennings admitted that she knew Chulo desperately needed medical attention, but she did not take him to the hospital because she knew that a medical examination would reveal the abuse he was suffering. The investigation also revealed that Jennings and Giacchina were present and living in the family home the entire time that the known abuse was sustained by Chulo. After the autopsy, the Wayne County Medical Examiner issued a supplemental report indicating that Chulo Jennings died by homicide as a result of a bowel perforation with complications after blunt force trauma to his abdomen. All children have a right to grow up in a home free of fear. This child and his siblings suffered unimaginable abuse and lived in fear every day. My office and the Madison Heights Police Department are committed to using every resource available to us to get justice for Chulo and hold the people responsible for his death accountable, and to seek punishment that reflects the horror of his death. And I want to thank the Madison Heights Police Department for their commitment and conviction in carrying out a very complicated investigation. And I'd like to turn it over to the chief now.
So I will have to ask some question right now. I had to ask the question right now. If all of them was staying at Daniel's mom's house, where was Daniel's mom? Where was Daniel's mom? And if she is around, and she was around when all that was going on, why was she not arrested? Just curious. If they always staying at their man's mom home, where was the mom if she's still living? If she was there witnessing all that, why are they the only two arrested? Should she be arrested too?
So, good afternoon, members of the press. For those who don't know me, my name is Brent Lemarice, and again, I'm the police chief for the city of Madison Heights. I'm not to be too redundant, but I'm going to speak a little bit on some of the things that Karen already said, but I'm going to be very short. So as you know, the Madison Heights Police Department and the Madison Heights Fire Department responded to the residence of the 6-year-old victim, Chulo Giovanni Jennings, on July 30th, 2024. This was the first time we encountered Giovanni and learned about his failing condition. The first responders took life-saving measures, but unfortunately Giovanni eventually succumbed to his injuries. Officers moved quickly to obtain probable cause, and they made 3 arrests on the date of the incident.
Oh.
One individual, as Karen has stated previously, was released when it was determined he had an alibi, and he was turned over to another agency on several violations.
Oh.
The other 2 individuals, as you now know, are Elaina Jennings and Daniel Giacchina, and they were charged with lying to the police. And Daniel Giacchina had a pre-existing warrant for weapons-related offenses out of Madison Heights. Since their arraignment on those charges, the Madison Heights investigative team, in coordination with the Oakland County Prosecutor's Office and their investigators, have been working around the clock to uncover fresh evidence that has led to new charges introduced today. I would like to...
Hey, can y'all do me a favor, man? Can y'all please slap that like button for your boy? Appreciate you.
Give a special thank you to all of them for their hard work. With that said, I want to remain focused focused on Giovanni and the tragic situation he had to endure. We will continue to work with the prosecutor's office to build this case and provide that justice for Giovanni. Thank you.
We can take a few questions, but with the understanding that we're very limited in what we can say.
Prosecutor, had anyone reported any of this abuse to CPS, and can you, as a parent, speak to the extreme nature of this abuse and how horrifying it is?
I can't comment on whether it was reported to CPS. I know that we are all mandated reporters and immediately contacted CPS because that's our job. You know, I'm a former family court judge and presiding over an abuse and neglect docket. I've been a prosecutor for years and the elected prosecutor for 4. And I think everyone standing up here has decades and decades of experience in prosecuting, particularly in the Special Victims Unit. But this was one of the worst cases we've seen.
Will Jones go forward to prevent something like this from happening? Is there anything that can be done?
There's a lot that can be done. And without going into the circumstances of this case, we need to know and keep track of our children. We need to know and keep track of our children who are enrolled in public schools, and when they are taken out, inquire about what happened to them. And then the people around kids, whether you're a teacher, a coach, just somebody in the grocery store line, if you see something that concerns you, you should absolutely report it to the Child Protective Services or the police. And in terms of the weapons offenses, your guns should be secured, stored, and locked, and not available, or children have access to them at all.
It's hard for a lot of people to imagine abuse on this scale. Can you talk about your reaction as a parent when you first looked at this case?
You know, we have so many tools available to us now in the digital forensic analysis, particularly with cell phones. And so, unfortunately or fortunately, crimes like these oftentimes are depicted, photographed, spoken about in a way that is horrifying. So I think it doesn't matter how long you do this job. I don't think any of us ever stop being extremely moved and horrified at what we see. But it also, I know I can speak for the people on my team, makes us more passionate and work harder to protect vulnerable people. Anything else?
It's indicated that both defendants were arraigned this morning in front of Magistrate Michael Mitchell. Bond was denied and are both at the Oakland County Jail.
All right. Bond was denied. All right, guys. So we heard that. Where you sending that, Dan? I didn't get it. You say you messaged this to me yesterday. Where did you get it? Where did you send it to? Because I didn't get it. Where did you send it to? Appreciate you coming through. The lady said they got so many resources, so many tools they could use in situations like this, public schools, and such things. Okay? When she said that, reminded me of the story, the live stream I did previously. You know, that idiot who was dealing with the cops, who barely knew that dude. She met him off a tag and let her child go with that man and go to school. Nobody knew nothing about the damn child. Even a friend let their child ride in the car with this man and whatnot. Fast forward, y'all remember coming close to the end of that video, they talked to the little girl, and the mama got so frustrated because she said all the child does is lie. All she do is lie. Let's connect that to what she just said. We're going to connect the two together. Here's how we're going to connect that. Because I have said numerous times, yes, children lie. Lord knows they do. But it costs you nothing to at least investigate what they are telling you. They do lie. But it does not mean that everything that come out their mouth that's a lie. But they will lie. But it's up to you as the parent on how you receive it. Are you just going to sit up there and let them lie, say, oh, you just lying? Or you going to get up and say, okay, I'm just going to investigate it so it can ease my mind. What if this is true or not? And once you investigate it and you see that's a lie, they can ease the burden on you because now you know your child is lying. Okay? Now, at that point, they might get an ass whooping coming. I don't know how y'all parents handle y'all children now with lying. I knew back in my day, depending on how severe the lie was, you get your ass whooped for lying. Okay? Even a little white lie, you just get your ass whooped for lying. All right? Some people look at that now as being mean. And I guess I can understand that to a certain extent. But the way we grew up, it was called a form of tough love. You don't get nowhere with lying. When I ask you a question, I expect you to tell the truth. Does not mean you're going to get a whooping every time because you tell the truth. Just tell the truth. Okay? Because constantly lying is like the story of the boy who cried wolf. You're going to keep on lying to a point that people are not going to take you serious no more. And when that time that it does become serious, nobody's going to be there to help you. Because you lie so much and so many times. And we have to teach you lying gets you nowhere. All right? Now, I'm not thinking over here and say, I ain't never lied out of a child. Hey, I probably told plenty of lies when I was a child. And it was the same tough love. The same tough love. But in this era, I don't know how some of y'all handle that when your children lie. All right? Matter of fact, some of y'all got daughters or sons in the chat room. What do y'all do when you find your child lie? I mean, do y'all discipline them or do you give them time out? Or do you sit down and have a prep talk with them? What do you do when they lie? And also, what do you do with them if you see this is a constant behavior that every time you ask them a question, it's a lie? And then the $1 million question is, if all the child does is lie, where's it coming from? Where's it coming from? If you make claim that all your child does is lie, where is it coming from? There's an update on another where a boy found in a dumpster. They got video of the mom now. Damn. It just get better and better, don't it? It get better and better. So, to you who's listening now, or maybe listening later, I'd like to know the answer to that question. When your child lies, how do you handle it? If they are a habitual liar, how do you handle it? And if the child is a habitual liar, where is it coming from? Where is it coming from? Again, this story reminds me of that fool in a police video that I did. Yet another woman leaves her children with a man who ain't got his own shit. You left all your children with this man. He's supposed to be babysitting them. This man taking videos, taking pictures of what he doing to your child. You and him sit back and laugh about it. And you continue to leave your child with this man. But why was he picked out? That's a question too. Why was he picked out of everybody to be abused? Or was the plan was they was going to abuse them one by one if he hadn't been caught? Got to think about that too. Was the plan was for him or her to get rid of all her children one by one. But they got caught before it happened. But right now the $1 million question is, why was he picked out the bunch to be abused? All right. So I would say this in departing. It is simple. Y'all got children, or you got teenagers. Encourage them to get with people who can meet them halfway. All right? Encourage them to get with people who will meet them halfway. Encourage them to have any children till they ready to have children. Encourage them to not bring strange men and women day in and day out around their children, because that can have a major effect too. If y'all got children in this era, y'all got time to save them and not be like these assholes right here. Y'all can still teach them morals. Y'all can. Or unless you like a lot of these parents that I talk about, you just don't give a fuck either, then I guess it is what it is. I have a conversation with them first about it, because some of my daughter's dad has her last stuff when she comes back home. When she's at home, normally don't have issues with her when she's here. My oldest daughter, man, she was, and I still had trouble with her as an adult with the line. And I have tried every punishment you could think of, even had the head cop of juvenile come and talk to her. Wow. It gets deep. It gets deep. It gets deep. Ladies and gentlemen, thank y'all for joining me. Thank y'all for listening. And hey, stay tuned for more stories like these and more updates on your man Chris Thorns. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace out.